Hi everyone, Adrienne Everheart, your feminine energy dating and relationship coach. In this video, I want to talk about 5 ways to get a man to fall in love with you. These are 5 feminine energy methods that will really entice a man to fall in love with you. In this video, I'm just going to give you some feedback on how to utilize them and really put them to work in your life, in your relationship right now. See how wonderful it feels to have a man respond to this and actually see the falling in love that happens with him right before your very eyes. So the big one I want to talk about is being caring. So feminine energy, a lot of people think that it's nurturing, it's doing things for the man, it's making things happen for him and taking care of him. And while women do have a nurturing quality, we are definitely going to want to take care of something smaller than us that can't speak, that can't feed itself, that can't fend for itself. That's why we become mothers, and that's why that's in our DNA to do that. With a man, it's a different sort of complicated issue because you can't really do for him and take care of him in the same way you would a child, that this will actually drive him away and not really help him fall in love with you, because he's going to feel a little bit like there's a microscope peering down at him. He's going to feel micromanaged, and it's going to challenge his masculine energy with you. So one of the biggest things that I encounter with my clients when we're having a problem with the man really showing that warmth and that love again is that they're not connecting with him on failures. It's not like every day your guy goes around failing at something, but every day, to most of us, we experience something that's a little bit to our chagrin. We are a little dissatisfied with how something turned out. And we might just go, well, try it again tomorrow. Or we might just say some sort of passing comment without a lot of heart and a lot of warmth to it. So you might think that that's being nurturing. Being nurturing means you say, hey, talk to me. This is a therapy session. Let's discuss your failure. And really it isn't. It's about taking a moment, a very important moment, to mourn that loss with your man. Not too long ago, my husband and I were setting up a tomato garden in our backyard, and we kept noticing we would have a couple of new tomatoes and then they would disappear the next day. And I was pretty sure it was a squirrel or some other animal, but my husband was really upset about this because he had worked very hard at building this tomato bed. He had put a lot of effort into putting the bags of soil, and we were creating something, and that's what men like to do. They like to create something and watch it unfold. So at first I was like, well, we just need to get a fake, owl, and we need to put up netting. And I went right into my problem solving skills, which, don't get me wrong, I'm an intelligent gardener. I know how to handle these things, but I didn't take a moment to grieve what was happening. So this is kind of a cute example with tomatoes, but I want you to apply it to your own life. Get your man to fall in love with you, because when he comes home and he goes, someone treated me some way at work, or someone cut me off at this intersection, I want you to take a moment and look at him and connect and go, oh my goodness. Use my really, really get him tool, which is you see his face, you name one emotion. Oh, you must be feeling so let down. That's all you have to do, is take that moment to mourn his loss with him and listen to him. Listen to him go on about it for a couple of minutes and just listen. No solutions, no advice, no solving it, no fixing it, no telling him what you think will help with the situation. Just listen and let him get into his masculine energy so he can solve it and feel better. So number 1 is, I want you to be there with him for his support during his failures. Number 2, we're going to talk about comfort. Now, again, you might think comfort is action, but I'm going to talk about comfort in a very different way, which is what women can do better than anybody else. All you need to do is think about how wonderful it feels when someone looks at you and listens to you, and you feel like you're the only person on the planet. They aren't challenging you on how you feel. They're just really getting you about it. And it's something really comfortable. That comfort is a type of warmth. And warmth, again, we get very busy. We get, in our boy pants. We're at work all day. We've got a million things to do when we get home from work. And I want you to take time to breathe and tune in to warmth. And warmth is where you're just focusing on slowing down and having a warm energy exchange with that person. And something that I have to remind myself is, right now in this moment in time, this is who's in front of me. This is who needs my love and attention. And there's nothing else going on in the world except this situation right now. And I can really unzip my heart and give that person all of my warmth and attention in that moment. You don't have to go out and cook him a big meal or make sure that you do something for him or take charge in some situation for him. You just show up with warmth and really look into his soul, look into his eyes, and again, unzip your heart. Imagine your heart unzipping and all this warm red beating light coming out and going right towards him. Ladies, this is why a man falls in love with a woman, because unlike any other woman out there, you're the one who really gets him. You're the one who can give him that warm, comfortable place. You're the one who really listens to him and can celebrate his accomplishments and failures. Now, moving on to number 3, I want you to celebrate his accomplishments. This is one that we pass by so often, and they're everywhere in the day. So my husband does bike riding, and he goes on really long distances, and sometimes he comes home from his bike ride and he'll say, "Oh, I finished my route in 22 minutes." And I don't really know what that means. I know it must mean he was fast. And I know he had a good time. So I sometimes don't really get it, but I can tell in his energy that this is an accomplishment that he's feeling. And sometimes in baseball, he'll share with me what his team is doing, and I know a good bit about baseball, but I don't understand everything, and he'll tell me an ERA or an average, and I'll go, "That's great," and he'll say, "Actually, it's not good. That's not a good average." And so it doesn't always work out, but at least you're trying to celebrate accomplishments, celebrate things that feels good to that person. When he comes home and he just left the car wash and the car is clean, "Ooh, look at that pretty car. Ooh, I can see my reflection in it." You're celebrating a win. Ladies, this one goes a long way with men. Number 4, this one is a little more difficult for some of you, because remember, feminine energy is something we're doing for you. We're doing it for you to get you grounded in your body, out of your head, out of thinking, doing, where you're exhausted a lot of the time, and get you back into your body and feeling good and feeling like a feminine energy woman. So I want you to take 2 weeks time, or as long as you can, and don't criticize your man. Don't criticize him about anything. Don't tell him some other way he should have gone, or the way that you do it, or the way that it's really supposed to work. Anything that remotely sounds like criticism, or he didn't do it right, or it's wrong, just get rid of it. Get rid of it for a good 2 weeks. Now, this is going to be like going on a diet for a lot of us. So it's gonna start with the first couple of hours of just noticing how you speak to him and how much you're on him, to make things happen. I have a big problem with this one myself, because I get very task oriented and I want to get everything all zipped up, everything put away, everything took care of, and I end up exhausted. And my man ends up feeling some distance with me. And that's what men do. They'll feel distance when they're overly criticized, and that's why they're not spending time with you. So we want to make sure you're doing those other steps I talked about before, and try giving criticism of any type a hiatus. Know how to speak your feelings without any expectation of an outcome, but give criticism a hiatus for as long as you can. You will find another workaround. It's amazing how it works. Everything will work out perfectly without the criticism. Number 5, this is my last tip for you to get a man to fall in love with you, and that is to make love visible. Make love visible. We have all heard of something called resting blank face, and this is where we have a facial expression or look to us that isn't very inviting or warm. And I want you to really learn how to make love visible. So even in your text communication, or when he comes home from work, it's not that I want you there waiting by the door all smiles and ready to be the biggest cheerleader in the world, but when it is time to show love and appreciation, make it visible with your face, with your smile, with your voice, with the energy in your body, with the things that you do and say, even for yourself. when you show yourself love, your children love, your home love, your plants love, your animals, everything in your life that you can show love to, you're making that love visible. And this is what a man wants. At the end of the day, he's been out there competing with so much other masculine energy, you see. So when he comes home, he enters the very magical world of the woman. And the man likes being there. He likes being there not because he gets cradled and taken care of like a baby, but because he is the king of that castle. This is where he rules. And I'm not saying you don't have boundaries or rights or you're a doormat or anything like that, but this is his time and his place to be king of the castle and have this beautiful, loving, warm woman to spend time with him. You're gonna like it. It's gonna feel great because you're gonna have to do less and not work so hard at hoping you get attention and affection, but you get to just be you and receive. And so this is where the man wants to come home and he wants to feel this warmth, this happiness. He's come home from a long day at battle and he wants the world to feel a little bit of comfort with the two of you, where you're supporting one another, you're being there for each other, you're celebrating your victories, and nobody's barking orders or criticisms at the other person. So ladies, try these out with the man you're dating, with your husband, if you're in a relationship. Try these out to really warm back up love and get him to fall in love with you. Now, if you want to learn more, I have an ebook called 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. It is a digital download. You can keep it on your phone, your tablet, or your computer. You can even use the magnifying tool that's in most PDF readers, so you can actually find terms that you want to learn about immediately. So I really recommend checking out that book and my programs and courses over at iHeart Love Academy. The links are all below. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me. Please give this video a thumbs up if it's really unzipped your heart and get that man to fall in love with you. Tell me your experiences when you use some of these tips and tools. I love hearing from you in the comment section. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Mwah. Much love. Bye-bye.